Now, we're at the end of 2013. So what I thought we would do, Cliff, is to go over, sort of like the good and the bad of 2013. I came up with a list of like, I don't know, almost like 12 or 13 good things and 12 or 13 bad things of 2013.
That sounds about right.
And,
Does that include the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series?
No. I didn't even include that. I'm talking more about politics.
Oh, okay, cool.
Although that was pretty good.
For some of us.
Yeah, and I didn't even include the birth of my son, which was also pretty good.
I would put that definitely under the good list for virtually everything in life, and maybe the bad list for your sleep schedule.
Yeah, I think that's actually incredibly accurate.
And perhaps puke-free clothing too.
Yeah,
but,
he's not a puker, but he ain't a sleeper either. So, what are you gonna do? You just eat to make up for it, and you can't fit in your pants anymore. All right, so that's all right. So let's go over some of this. Let's start. In no particular order, but I think one of the worst things that we have experienced this year has been and I would lump these together in some respects, but the sequester and the implications that it's had on sort of the least fortunate in this country, and I would include in that sort of cuts to food stamps, and I guess it's technically going to be 2014. Well, it's going to happen in 2013. The cuts to unemployment. I mean, this has been really tragic, both for the economy as a whole, but particularly for the most vulnerable Americans.
No, I know. I mean, and I think you have to add in the recent budget to that too, because that, of course, was the effect of sequestration and everything. In fact, I think a lot of us had sort of clamored against the idea that had been popular on the left for a while of having a balanced budget amendment, right? And in the end, this almost ended up functioning like that. Getting yourself into something, did President Obama and others around him learn the lesson this year? Who knows? Probably not. But I mean, getting yourself into something where you have to rely on crazy people to get you out of is not smart. And it put them in a certain position, and so you have to look at the budget, that they just recently the whole Patty Murray and Paul Ryan thing that ends up at spending levels below earlier Paul Ryan budgets. And it eases for 2 years some of the sequestration, but the biggest leverage point the Democrats probably had was defense, although some of them are co-opted by the defense industry too. But they didn't push that, and I just think these are all connected to each other. This is all sort of, to me, the overall failure of belief, of framing, of actually standing up and saying, you know what, we won the election. We in fact we've won the past two presidential elections, but the inability to sort of stand up and make the argument that you don't get to sort of make these kinds of demands and get it 50-50 when the president won, the Democrats held the Senate again, and the House they won by 1.4 million votes and only lost because of gerrymandering. But that they've never done that. They've never made that argument that about what their mandate is. They've never made the argument that we've tried things here and in Europe. We've tried things your way, and it's failed. It's failed massively, and we can't do it. We've tried things your way even worse so during the Bush years, and look at what that did to us. It's these are, and the worst of all was President Obama sort of backing up and really supporting the very right-wing and very stupid argument that a family operates like the U.S. government operates.
Right.
You tighten your belts, so we have to tighten ours, and that all of that has served to undermine any good they could do to get rid of what the real crisis is, of course, which is unemployment, wage stagnation, poverty, or the combination of all of those things, and that really has led to all of these items we're talking about.
Yeah, I think again, the story for 2013 is austerity. We reflect that in our best of selections. this year. But on the flip side, the only good thing I can say about that is what happened with sort of the sort of final debunking of the Reinhart Rogoff calculation about austerity, about the implications of it. Now, it came a little bit late, and we're still living in this age of austerity where we are. The saddest thing about this is that there is a tremendous amount of suffering that is taking place with people. There was a really just a devastating piece in New York Magazine, I think it was, talking to 7 people who are going to lose their unemployment benefits in the next week or two. And this is all self-imposed.
Let's be honest with people, though. They are, because that's what Jesus would have done.
Right, of course. Jesus would want people to not be so beholden to the state. They can just go out and get a job.
So beholden to their unemployment benefits.
Right.
They choose to lie around and do nothing with the vast sums of wealth thrown their way for new pairs of yacht shoes and trips to the moon and such.